In 26 years of handling wrongful death cases here in New York, I have never, ever heard of a medical examiner doing an autopsy on a patient without doing an autopsy. You want to know what this has to do with wrongful death cases here in New York and Joan Rivers' recent death? Come join me as I share with you some great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial lawyer practicing law here in the state of New York. So now a medical examiner does what's known as an autopsy to try and determine what was the cause of death. Why did this patient die? Now, Joan Rivers recently died, and all the news reports indicated that she was going ahead and having an autopsy done. So now everybody waits around for weeks and weeks expecting that the medical examiner is going to do an autopsy, which is a clinical examination of the patient who died. They cut open the body and try and determine, not only from a clinical examination, but also from a microscopic examination, why did this patient die? Why did Joan Rivers die? What was amazing was that the news reported that the medical examiner had conducted an autopsy. And now here are the results. What were the results? She died from a lack of oxygen, leading to brain damage and ultimately death. This is the only instance in my career that I have ever heard of a medical examiner in New York doing an autopsy without ever doing a clinical examination known as an autopsy. Now, what do I mean? It turned out Joan Rivers was Jewish, and her daughter Melissa decided that her mother was not going to have an autopsy. So instead, what did the medical examiner do? The medical examiner simply did an external examination and looked at the medical records from the endoscopy center in order to come to the conclusion that she died from a lack of oxygen, which caused brain damage and then ultimately death. Now, how is that possible? Well, anybody looking at the medical records can now formulate opinions or conclusions about what actually occurred. But the whole point of having an autopsy done is to determine clinically what was the precise cause of death. What I found to be most ironic was that nowhere in the news reports do you ever see anything alluding to the events leading up to the lack of oxygen that caused the permanent brain damage that caused her untimely death. That was remarkable. So now, if her daughter Melissa Rivers goes ahead and brings a wrongful death lawsuit, she will need to obtain medical experts to then review those same exact records to come to the conclusion and piece together the sequence of events that occurred that prompted her to have the significant lack of oxygen known as hypoxia, or total cutoff of oxygen known as anoxia, leading to permanent brain damage, leading to her ultimate death. So why do I share this interesting information with you? I share it with you because I've never, ever seen an autopsy being done without the doctor ever doing a clinical autopsy. You know, I realize you're watching this because you have questions or concerns about how wrongful death cases work here in the state of New York. Well, if your loved one died here in New York and you do have legal questions about bringing a lawsuit, what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. You know, this is something I do every single day, and I'd love to chat with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's quick video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a great day.